Export controls are a system of laws and regulations that govern the export of certain goods, information, and/or technology. Export controls ensure controlled technologies, including those used for commercial and military purposes, do not end up in the hands of terrorists or terrorist-supporting groups. At Northrop Grumman Australia, we are committed to complying with export control laws and regulations at all levels of the business. Controlled technology can be tangible and intangible and can include hardware, software, technical data or services. All countries publish a defined control list to which export regulations apply. Australia's list is called the Defence and Strategic Goods List, or DSGL. The US have two lists, the US Munitions List and the Commerce Control List. Some countries, including the US and Australia, control the items on their list, even when the items are located in another country. We call this extraterritorial controls. This means that we must comply with the US export control laws here in Australia, and other countries must comply with our export control laws in their own country. Goods that have been made for a commercial purpose, but can be used in a military or weapons program, are controlled. These are called dual-use goods. For example, aluminium tubing is captured, as it can be used in nuclear weapons. The term export does not just refer to moving tangible or intangible items from Australia to another country. An export can occur when controlled technology is provided to any entity outside NGA, even domestically, including to the Commonwealth or even our parent company, NGC. A conversation where information is shared can be an export if NGA personnel share technical information about controlled technology with a representative of another company. You may have heard there have been changes to Australia and the US export control legislation to support the trilateral partnership between Australia, the UK and the US, known as AUKUS. AUKUS has impacted how the International Trade Compliance Team manages trade compliance, enabling quicker turnaround times for export licenses in some circumstances. However, our NGA processes and forms still apply to meet regulatory requirements. The ITC team within NGA ensures we are fully compliant with all export controls regulations. ITC must track and trace all controlled technology and ensure whomever has access to it is properly authorised. We do this through a series of procedures and forms. If you are engaging any human resource, providing access to or sharing technology, presenting or publishing materials, travelling internationally, providing services to foreign governments, or participating in any other activity that could be considered an export, you must obtain prior approval from ITC. You must ensure that you and your teams are aware of export control requirements and the need to comply with any ITC guidance. Be sure to convey the importance of trade compliance, as well as individual responsibilities and accountabilities, to your team. Lead by example and encourage others to inspire engagement and a culture for compliance amongst all personnel. Non-compliance can have serious consequences. There can be significant monetary fines, as well as the loss of export privileges and costly reputational damage, and even jail sentences in extreme cases. In 2024, Boeing was fined $51 million for export control violations, including providing contractors access to technology without appropriate authorization. In another case, an Australian CEO was extradited and sentenced to 2 years in jail for exporting controlled technology to Iran. Remember, An export can be as simple as a conversation about technology or providing a service to anyone outside of NGA. And that ITC is here to assist. It is important that you comply with any provisos or limitations regarding the sharing of technology provided to you by ITC, and reach out to ITC where you receive any inquiries or correspondence regarding an ITC issue. If you do have any ITC queries or are in doubt, check in. At NGA, we encourage you to highlight any suspected non-compliance directly to ITC or to our legal department. We also offer an anonymous, open line. This simple act could save us millions of dollars and any impact to our reputation. Remember, export controls are everyone's responsibility. We must all be aware of and abide by export control processes and procedures. For more information, talk to ITC.